For those who have gone through hell, hell, I find hell to be not only a place, like a physical place, where some people will have to go to. Yeah. They just will. You saw I pause right there, and I was like, yeah, they're going to have to just go to hell. Yeah. But it's also a state of mind, right? And the way that I can explain it is, you know how I always speak about raising your vibration and operating from your higher self, right? And so I break it down to like higher self and then lower self. So like the lower self would be operating through like overindulgence, whether it's sex, drugs, gossiping, slander, being negative, and hate, unforgiveness. That's the lower realms, right? Like your lower chakras, right? And then your higher self would be like operating from like forgiveness, love, um, approval of things that happen, acceptance of what is right now, living in the present moment, looking to do something better with yourself for your future, working on yourself, and not engaging in the drama and the bullshit, like abstaining from all that negative stuff, right? So like that's how I see like heaven up here and hell down here, but inside of me, right? And so I'll, for a great part of my life, I lived in hell. Yeah. When I was a child and I was constantly being abused and used for rituals and uh, kicked out, rejected, abandoned, slandered, defamed, um, like kind of like abolished, like just a good for nothing type of like energy with the people that I loved and cared about. And then I gave and gave and gave, and it wasn't enough. It would have never been enough because I was to be a sacrifice. So it was like I was supposed to be in hell. That's where they needed me to be in order for these rituals and sacrifices to take place and for them to work. You have to be operating in lower vibration. It doesn't work on people who are operating at a higher vibration, which is why I keep talking about healing, because anybody could do these things. They just need to have something to attach it to you. And all they need from you is for you to be operating from those lower vibrations. I hope that makes sense. So if you're genuinely seeking to heal, if you're taking care of your vessel, if you're healing, if you're doing your shadow work, if you're abstaining not only from sex but from like slandering, gossiping, making other people's life miserable and stuff like that. When you're like abstaining from things like that, then you're like at a high vibration, right? So nothing can attach to you. They can't send anything to attach to you. They can't do any spells on you. They can't do any dark magic on you because it doesn't work. The only way that it only works on low vibrational individuals, which is why they like to get you when you're like small, when you're a child, right? So I was coming up here to like give a message to like all those people that went through hell or are like currently going through hell. You don't have to stay there. You can't come out. You can choose to do something different. You can choose to forgive. You can choose to heal. You can choose to evolve. And you don't have to choose that for anybody else. And then if you have a hard time forgiving people, think about the spirits that are operating through them. That helps. I think that would help anybody, because when you are able to identify the spirits that are operating through these people, right, you'll be able to see that it's not real people in there no more. They're like, it's the spirit that's operating through them, especially when they're doing things like I'll give you an example. Like when someone's doing something to a child, right? That's like really bad. Like you guys know what I'm talking about. Like the things that were done to me. That's not a person in there doing that anymore. That's a spirit. And those spirits like to harvest energy through that act, right? So if you were someone that was affected by that, no matter who did it to you, you can look at it in that point of view and understand that, hey, that wasn't such and so. That was a demonic being doing that. Because only demons need to feed off and harvest energy and feed off energy to continue to live, right? To feed. So if you look at it like that, then you'll be able to forgive, because at least for me, I don't do demons. I just don't. I don't do demons. I don't demons and I no. Just it's a hard no. A solid no. I'm gonna close the door and walk away and never look back type of no. We don't do demons around. Yeah, this is the Divine Ranch right here. When I think about demons, I think about Satan's camp. And I've been there. I've been there. I was raised there. And I came out of there. And that's why I'm able to speak about these things now, because I lived there. And there was a time that I lived there because I had to live there. And there was a time that I lived there because I wanted to be there. Because I kept being stubborn and I kept like going back to people that didn't deserve my presence. And so now that I've escaped Satan's camp, I'm at the Divine Ranch with peace, love, and light and wisdom. So, which is why I talk about how we could come out of anything, bro. We could literally come out of anything. We don't have to be trapped in our minds or letting people run us as puppets. We have free will. The only thing is that nobody can do that for us. This is something that we have to choose to do ourselves and heal and grow from and evolve and choose something different because we want to. It comes to a point where we're presented with like red or blue pill. Which one do you want? You know, like The Matrix, the movie? That's not a regular movie. That's a documentary. Okay.